for economic reasons. That's not in doubt at all. But what is important is that we must not allow this thing to fester. Because if it gets worse, it will be more difficult for our security forces to be able to handle things. So now is the time for them to go onslaught. I saw the Chief of Army Staff the other day in trying to inspire his troops and all that, which is good. But that must be the way to go. They must find a way to do what they want to do in that state in all the states in the north, or all the states where banditry has been established to flourish. Because we must make it difficult for those people to do what they are doing. Because when a criminal knows that there's a reward in whatever he wants to do, it's very difficult to stop them.
Julie, we've seen some northern leaders advocating for amnesty for these guys. And while the military, they're of the opinion that the military option is still the best, but there are some northern leaders, like the former governor of Zamfara State, that has come out to say, look, these guys, in any way, we have to rehabilitate them. Do you subscribe to this?
No, of course, I don't think it makes sense. And the experience is there for us to draw from. Katsina gave amnesty to these guys 2 times under Governor Aminu Bello Masari. And in the end, they resumed kidnapping and killing of people. And they were even killing soldiers. In Shimfida, 8 soldiers were slaughtered. I think 18 soldiers or so were slaughtered one day in an ambush. And what did we see? There's no sense in giving these guys amnesty because they would not give it up totally. And El-Rufai himself explained why Kaduna would never consider amnesty. His argument was that a Fulani cattle rearer, because a good number of these bandits were originally Fulani cattle rearers who were victims of cattle rustling, and they felt if you can't beat them, join them. So he said, how do you expect somebody who will move from the north to the south with his cattle, and after
that kind of
several months in the jungle, just you sell one cattle
thousands of
for 200,000 maximum. You sell one cattle for 200,000. Although these days they cost a lot more due to transportation cost and all that. But you can actually do a deal. You can kidnap someone, and on that person, just one person, you can get 100,000. Those trained victims, they paid 100 million. 100 million. Sorry, they paid 100 million.
That's a big difference
per head. Those who could not pay, government had to find a way. They set up a committee, and through that committee, they gave money to these guys. Because those guys are not polite, they are not nice people. They couldn't have released the rest of them if not for the work of that committee. But, you know, that's not an issue that I want to go into. But it makes no sense to think that somebody who was, and you know, cows in terms of their gestation period, just like human beings, 9 months. And but unlike human beings, they rarely give birth to 2 calves. Rarely, very rare. It's usually one per year. So you can imagine how difficult that business is. And you sell for 200,000, 300,000. You expect another cow to give birth the following year. So it's not so much the kind of profit that they get from it. You can't compare to what happens with when you get involved in armed robbery or kidnapping. You can make millions at once. So that's the thing. I do not support it. And look at our friend who was even involved in negotiation with bandits. That's Dr. Mustafa from Enua, Mustafa Enua. He personally even went to those people's camps to negotiate with them. I saw a video of him on a bike going to negotiate with bandits. We interviewed him here on Yori Folana's show, and he said, no, It makes no sense to negotiate. So I think the government should
Those who have practical knowledge
of course, those who spoke eyeball to eyeball with them, they are saying no. You know, so I don't think that Ahmed Sani Yerima personally went into any forest to negotiate with anybody. So he doesn't, in my view, know the implication of what he's saying. They always compare them with Niger Delta militants. It makes no sense. Niger Delta militants, those ones that they gave amnesty to, a good number of them went abroad, you know, and they schooled abroad. Yeah. Today they are qualified pilots. And other. It's not, these are two different. Those ones were fighting over ideology. They didn't like the contamination of their environment. Yes. These ones are purely into criminality. There's no ideology about it. And that's why I said they are not terrorists, but they are just.
If you give them regular jobs, they're not ready to take it.
No, it's just the money that they want to make. They are not passing any message to anyone. It's not an ideology. That's why they are not terrorists. They are bandits. The definition of banditry fits them perfectly. We are the ones deceiving ourselves that they are terrorists. That's not the globally recognized definition of terrorism.
Yeah. Ultimately, they should rehabilitate these guys like we did to Boko Haram.
No, I believe
some Boko Haram guys.
I also do not agree that we should give amnesty. You don't reward criminality. When somebody has decided to be a criminal, even punishment as a form of deterrent will not stop them doing so. When Nigeria made a law that armed robbery during the military attracts firing squad, you will expect that people will not go into it. But people were still going into it. And they were ready to die by firing squad. In some Arab countries, if you carry drugs, it carries death penalty. But people still carry drugs to those places. So if somebody has made up his mind to be a criminal, you understand, your amnesty will not work. Because if you say, okay, all sins forgiven, we allow you to mix with the society, the person will not be able to cope because he will not get the kind of reward that he gets from criminality or from banditry. So that is no good area. There's another Islamic, very popular Islamic that have been pushing this amnesty thing. Like you said, it is different from the Niger Delta thing. Is completely different, completely different. These ones are criminals, and the only way is to fight them because they are just like any other criminal. And because they benefit greatly from that criminality, it is difficult for you to give amnesty.
All right.